Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Jar of Marble dwellers and Jar of Marble curious. My name is Linda and this is Jar of Marbles.
And I am Bob. I'm Bob. In case you wondered who I am.
I know, and it's so good to see you.
Isn't it though?
It is. This week, I'd like to talk a little bit about the woo got me through. They call it woo like it's a whisper, like it's something to laugh at under their breath, like it's incense smoke instead of oxygen, like it's a phase instead of foundation. But the woo got me through.
Got you through. The woo got you through. Got you through what?
Well, I think if I'm to be completely transparent, I'm talking about when I had become a single parent and the girls and I were on our own due to the neglect, total disregard of their daughters by their sperm donors. So that one was a biggie. We had none of the normal expected protection or consideration, care or respect. Any way you want to wrap it up, any way you want to look at it, that is what the reality is and was. I wasn't raised in a religious household, point being I didn't have a place that I knew of to turn to, whether it was church or prayers or an instilled spiritual religious practice. And I certainly couldn't turn to my parents. They were of the mind, it's your bed, you made it, you sleep in it. From around the age of 4 years old, I knew I had to look out for myself.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, so good one. As a loving parent, I look at them and think it was choices because of you, because if you can be decent to some and not to others, then you're making a choice. And yes, and also you're as evil as hell. Bless them.
Yeah, bless them.
That's right. It was there when logic had no language for what I was feeling, when productivity couldn't fix it, when advice from well-meaning people felt like cardboard in my mouth.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, life's too short to deal with bad food, cheap drinks and fake people.
Absolutely. We take the garbage out for a reason, Bob.
Yeah, we do.
The woo, the rituals, the energy, the quiet conversations with the universe, the cards, the signs, the gut feelings I chose to trust held me when nothing else would or could.
You had an angel wings on your car too, didn't you?
Yeah, well, my 3 kids, precious cargo, no one was checking in on these children, and certainly not in a meaningful way. So when I had my kids in the car, I was aware that I had my entire family in my care. Hashtag the woo got me through. It gave shape to the invisible. It let me believe that meaning existed even when I couldn't see the outcome.
Oh, wow.
People say woo-woo like it's a flaw, like softness is weakness, like intuition is delusion, like honouring your inner world is indulgent.
People say love is the best feeling, but I think finding a toilet when you have diarrhea is even better.
Oh, here we go.
No poo and woo for me.
But what they call woo, I call listening. Listening to my body when it said rest, listening to my intuition when it said leave, listening to the subtle nudge that said there is more for you than this.
Yeah, true.
Even though in many ways I wasn't aware of how dire my situation was, thank goodness, all I knew was I had to keep my kids as far away from it all as possible to give them some kind of normality that involved endless skies, trees for days, and sweet contemplations. I was there for my kids and they knew it. Very happy memories in amongst the madness that males brought into their and my life. It is quite often that we have 20/20 hindsight, don't we? And we can see with clarity just how ordinary their efforts were in regard to the well-being of their children. And we're very happy to leave it completely in my hands, but also take the praise for how, well-mannered and how well-educated they were, and then abuse me for it. The usual, all too common and experience that many of our women folk experience.
You like the stigma of being a single parent.
Yes, good point. Agreed, Bob. We do the child raising and then cop a label of disapproval, and yet we stay to do the raising of our beautiful children. The ignorance is rife. It is dum-dum mentality. It is judgy and shows, as I say, real dum-dums. And that goes for anybody, male or female, that holds that dum-dum opinion.
Geez, tell me what you really think. Hey, I used to think that I didn't like talking to people in the mornings. Turns out it doesn't matter what time of the day it is. I just don't like dealing with people in general.
That might be a you problem, Bob.
Maybe.
So, the woo taught me that healing isn't linear, that energy matters, that boundaries are sacred.
Yes, they are.
That not everything can be dissected under fluorescent lighting and spreadsheets. Some things need candlelight. Some things need silence. Some things need faith,
Yeah.
and faith in myself, in timing, in unseen support saved me. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did. I won't let anyone reduce that to a punchline. If believing that the universe conspires to makes me woo-woo, then I am woo.
I believe in you. I also believe in Bigfoot, so don't get too excited, yeah.
Hashtag the woo got me through. If pulling cards to reflect, journaling with intention, cleansing spaces, talking to ancestors, praying to possibility, if that's woo, then a yes.
Yes, that's right.
That's right, Bob. Because it carried me through nights I don't think about, through doubts that would have swallowed me whole if I hadn't believed something bigger was at work. And it was. The woo didn't make me irrational, it made me resilient.
I was just minding my own business, and the next thing I know, I'm the same age as old people.
It happens, Bob.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
It gave me rituals when I needed rhythm, symbols when I needed structure, and magic when reality just felt too damn heavy. And the realities that were gifted to me by these ridiculous males really impacted my kids, and I would be running around picking up the pieces, hold them while they cried, and thinking up ways to bring more fun and happiness in their lives. It grew me into a far more mindful, kind parent. I had to be to counteract what these dickheads would or wouldn't do. This is so many women's stories. It's so common that no one flinches with discomfort when they hear another one. But honouring myself means honouring all of it. The mystical and the practical, the grounded and the cosmic, the woman who meditates, the woman who negotiates, the softness and the steel. I was woo, I am woo.
Literally every person is messed up, so pick your favourite train wreck and roll with it, I say.
Absolutely. I like how you worded that.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm woo-woo, not because I'm naive, but because I refuse to abandon the parts of myself that feel deeply, sense deeply, believe deeply.
Yes, yes.
They can call it what they want. I call it survival. I call it sovereignty. I call it coming home to myself, and I may come home to myself over and over in this lifetime.
I think that's growing.
Yeah, it is, Bob. And when I had my 3 kids and found myself raising them alone, the world suddenly felt much bigger and a lot quieter at the same time. In the beginning, I was scared, especially when the sun went down. Daylight had its noise and movement, but night brought a different kind of awareness. I knew very clearly that we were on our own. If something happened, there was no one close by to run to, no quick safety net. That thought sat heavy with me in those early days.
Having a little nap on the sofa before taking myself to bed for my main sleep, I like to call that a napetizer.
Oh, love it. A name of this masterpiece napping is an art form.
Yeah, well, not everyone can indulge in a pre-bed snooze.
And still hit their nightly quota. An applause?
Yeah, why not? Okay.
Yes. Now, as I recall, every creak in the house seemed louder.
Oh, how scary.
Every shadow felt longer. I would lie awake sometimes listening, making sure the kids were safe. I'd be, still awake at 4 o'clock in the morning until I was so exhausted I would literally just, fall asleep out. I was just so tired. They probably never knew how aware I was of everything. Doors locked, windows checked, ears always half open, even while I was slept.
You're a Wonder Woman.
Well, I'm not saying I'm Wonder Woman. I'm just saying that no one else has ever seen me and Wonder Woman in the same room. But something changed over time.
It did?
It did. Little by little, the fear began to loosen its grip. Life kept moving forward, and so did we. I handled problems when they came, figured things out when there was no one else to ask, and kept the house and the kids and our lives going. Without really realising it, I was building something inside myself. Strength.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Eventually, the nights didn't feel so heavy anymore. The quiet didn't mean danger. It just meant peace.
Oh, nice, nice.
I began to feel strong in a way I hadn't before, like I had stepped into my own power.
It had brought awareness of your own power by way of what you had no choice in facing.
Yes, Bob. I felt protected somehow. And more than that, I believed in myself completely. Not because someone told me to, but raising those kids taught me resilience long before I even knew what that word meant. I don't even know if it was a part of my, lexicon. I don't think I ever used that word.
Shout out to everyone who still remembers their childhood landline number but can't remember the passwords I made this week. You're my people!
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
It also taught me something else. It showed me exactly who people really were.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
Life has a way of revealing the characters in the zoo, so to speak.
Yeah, the who's who.
And let me tell you, none of the ones who truly mattered during those years were relatives. Not one. And we got through it. More than that, we lived so many unforgettable, wonderful, dare I say, sometimes woo-woo moments. And it is true to say we all experienced as a family of girls, so much happiness in spite of the ding-dongs.
I wasn't made to hustle and bustle. I was made to dilly and dally.
I know this to be true.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So I raised my kids well. I gave them what I could, love, stability, and the example of standing on your own 2 feet when life demands it. I gave and modelled fun and creativity, no limits, and they drank it all up. They thrived and excelled. No thanks to their respective fathers and families.
Talk about reveal themselves.
And one day, just like it's meant to happen, they grew up and stepped out into their own lives.
Everyone is brave in their own way. I, for one, am not afraid of raw cookie dough.
That's an appreciated admission there, Bob.
Yeah.
Now they, my daughters, our kids, your kids, have their own stories to tell. And in some quiet way, I know that part of their strength come from those years when it was just the 4 of us, learning together how strong we really were. We knew it and we celebrated it often. I knew I was raising women and strong women, which including having to face horrible situations, but we grew and thrived anyway.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Sometimes you have to give up on people, not because you don't care, but because they don't.
Yeah.
That's right. Hashtag the woo got me through. Faith can be a quiet but powerful force in our lives. When someone believes in God, many gods, ascended masters, angels, or simply a higher spiritual presence, that belief often becomes a source of strength during life's most difficult moments.
I have always said that attitude is the difference between an ordeal and an adventure.
Yes, that was very good. I love it. When we face hardship, loss, uncertainty, illness, or emotional pain, faith can provide something that the material world sometimes cannot.
Yeah.
And hope. It reminds us that we are not alone, that there may be a greater purpose unfolding, even when we cannot see it yet.
I was thinking about how bad is your luck, and imagine you're being kidnapped with a stuffy nose and then they tape your mouth.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it.
Yeah, good. Trusting in a higher power or spiritual guidance can help calm the mind and steady the heart when everything else feels uncertain. And faith ultimately always gives us resilience. And when we believe that something greater is walking beside us, supporting us or guiding us, loving us, we find the courage to keep moving forward. It is nothing, if nothing at all, so very comforting. And why would you not give that gift to yourself, especially when you know you're just getting through?
Yeah, gifts come in different forms, don't they?
They do. Life's joys. Everyone defines their moments of receiving a gift differently or giving their gifts willingly and happily. You don't need anyone's approval to enjoy your life your way. Prayer, meditation, or simply speaking from the heart to the divine can become a way to release our fears and renew our strength. In those moments, faith becomes a refuge.
Oh, he does it. Yeah, what? Yeah, it does, yeah. I'm trying to remember something I told myself to remember, and all I can remember is I wasn't supposed to forget it.
Exactly. I can't remember if I forgot.
Yeah, that's it.
But faith is not only for the difficult times, it also deepens our appreciation for the good moments in life.
Yes, yes.
When we believe that blessings come from something sacred, whether divine love, universal energy, spiritual guardians, we learn to see joy with gratitude.
Oh, yes, bless.
A beautiful day, the kindness of a stranger, The laughter of loved ones or a moment of peace can feel like gifts rather than coincidences, and I do like that and forever grateful for the lens I see my life through.
Me too.
In this way, faith shapes how we experience the world. It lifts us when we fall and humbles us when life is generous. It teaches patience and struggle and gratitude in abundance.
Hey, life pro tip. If you see somebody crying, ask if it's because of their haircut.
Perhaps not. That's funny, but it's kind of mean all at the same time.
Yeah.
No matter what form it takes, faith is ultimately about connection to something greater than ourselves and to the deeper meaning within our lives.
Yeah, it is.
Through that connection, we find the strength to endure the storms and the wisdom to celebrate the sunshine.
And it feels just like that, doesn't it?
It does. Life, even on an ordinary day, asks more of us than we sometimes realise. Simply getting through the routines of work, responsibilities, relationships, appointments, and medical concerns. I mean, gosh, the list is endless. And the constant stream of thoughts in our minds requires resilience.
I've started a new website called Older Fans where we can subscribe to each other's weekly injuries and ailments.
Older fans, you say?
Yeah.
There is an invisible effort behind what looks like a normal day.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. We manage emotions, adapt to unexpected problems, and try to maintain some sense of balance while the world continues moving around us.
And move it does. Hey, if you're going down a river at 2 miles per hour and your canoe loses a wheel, how much pancake mix would you need to re-shingle a roof?
I don't know. Give it to me.
None, because there's no bones in ice cream. Ha ha. Ice cream, no bones, yeah.
So, in life, when pressure increases, that quiet effort becomes more obvious. Stress, loss, financial strain, loneliness, or uncertainty can push people toward ways of coping that promise quick relief. For some, this may take the form of addictive behaviours, substances, gambling, excessive screen use, or other habits that temporarily numb discomfort.
Oh yeah, numb discomfort.
And these behaviours often begin as an attempt to manage pain or escape pressure. In the short term, they may provide a sense of control or distraction, but over time they can create their own struggles.
But sometimes our lives have to be completely shaken up, changed,
Rearranged.
rearranged to relocate us.
I love it, Bob. Yeah, to the place where we're going to next and meant to be. Others respond to life's pressures by searching for meaning.
Today my car clock is right again. Yeah, my patience has finally paid off.
Very good.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
So, were spiritual practices, whether through prayer, meditation, reflection, time in nature, or participation in a faith community, often a different kind of response?
Yeah.
These practices do not remove life's difficulties, but they can change how a person relates to them.
There's the tea.
Yes, spiritual traditions often encourage patience, humility, compassion, and acceptance of life's uncertainties.
As opposed to being frightened and frozen within the problem.
Yes, Bob. Hashtag the woo got me through. For many people, that framework provides comfort. Sure did me. A sense that challenges are a part of a larger journey rather than random burdens. Both paths reveal something about human nature.
Oh, yes.
When life becomes overwhelming, people look for ways to soothe the mind and regain stability.
Yes, that's true, of course.
The difference often lies in whether the coping strategy ultimately narrows a person's world or expands it.
And we want expansiveness.
Yes, we do. Addictive behaviours tend to close things in, gradually limiting freedom. Practices that encourage reflection and connection, spiritual or otherwise, can open space for growth.
And we likey the growth.
Yes, life itself can be understood as a long learning curve, and that has certainly served me well. I've looked at aspects of my life as just that, a learning curve, because I am learning, or sometimes I would call it, and still do at times, call it a mission. I can see I'm on a mission, and all missions end. At some point they do, and in most cases it was and is on my terms. I don't wait for someone else to be dictating the terms and conditions of my happiness. That line of thinking has served me well for a very long time. It knocks out the victim mentality and you just get on with your life, with the ones who want to be in it, and have happiness sandwiches every day, or most days.
From a very young age, I knew something was wrong with everyone else.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did.
Good on you, Bob. So not one of us moves through life perfectly. Mistakes, detours, hold-ups, moments of weakness, we all have those.
Hell, we do.
We do. And it is a part of the process of becoming more aware of ourselves, of our capabilities, of our typical way of reacting, and what can we do to change and improve that. Over time, many people discover healthier ways of responding to stress with supportive relationships, creative outlets, good friends or a good friend, mindfulness, spiritual reflection, or simply learning to pause and breathe before reacting.
I used to think I had some control over my life, but now I just pull up a chair and watch the shit show unfold before me.
Oh, do you?
That's what I do.
So what gets us through day to day is often not one grand solution, but a collection of small supports and small routines that ground us.
People who listen?
Yeah, beliefs that give us hope, and the quiet understanding that difficult periods do not last forever. Boy, oh boy, doesn't that give relief, those words when you're in the thick of something shitty.
Hell yeah.
And in that sense, the journey through life is less about avoiding pressure and more about learning how to meet it with patience, curiosity, and the willingness just to keep growing. Because when our intention is to grow, it happens. We only need to show up every day and growth is guaranteed.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe that's the real point of all of this, the so-called woo-woo or woo, whatever you want to call it. The intuition, the rituals, the quiet moments of believing in something you can't prove was never about having the answers. It was about having something to hold on to while you keep going.
Hell yeah. One of the many free services I provide is letting people know they're assholes.
Oh, so community-driven, Bob.
Yeah, that's me. Yep.
Because when things get messy, uncertain, or just plain hard, sometimes logic alone isn't what carries you through.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes it's the little practices, the strange comforts, the bits of magic we allow ourselves to believe in. So if the woo-woo helps you get through, helps you breathe deeper, stand up again or trust yourself just a little more, maybe it's not so silly after all, eh?
It's not silly.
So it's farewell.
Surely not.
Yes, my love. And thank you, Marble Dwellers, for listening in. You sure know how to make this woo-woo girl happy.
And me.
And Bob. It's a bit of a thrill, actually, when I see people listening and coming back again. So truly, thank you. Thank you for listening. And until next time, stay curious, stay open, and don't be afraid of a little magic and a little woo-woo. So say good day to the family for me. Give the goon a spoon. And we'll see you next time, okay? Okay, then. Bye.
Bye.